Welcome back for another session of Keeping It Simple. We are having the session a little late today because it happens to be our anniversary and I was spending little time with Ruchi to have dinner. So it is wonderful that you have all waited for this session, even though we are a little more than 45 minutes late. So thank you. Dhruv, I have received a request from Dhruv and joining us any moment. And if you have any questions regarding anything you would like to know, please put it in the comment section and Dhruv will pick it up from there. So there Dhruv is.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. So are we ready, Dhruv?
Yes, we are absolutely ready. Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay, babe. So today the question that I received for the first question was, can you talk about the veil that covers the Atman? Does that determine the interest in life, etc.? And how to remove it or get over it?
Yeah, that is what art of living is all about, no? So, see, there are different ways to look at it. At one level, everything is Atma. Even the veil is Atma. Even the, see, like the seed and the seed covering is the same, no? Without the seed covering, the seed cannot exist. Without the banana peel, the banana cannot exist. It is part of the banana, and yet it is separate. The peel is something which is on the outside, and banana is something which is inside, the sweetness. Okay, so that is what Gurudev talks about, no? Or we talk about in Art of Living, 7 layers of existence: so body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, and self. So the self, the seventh layer, is the Atma, and the other six are the outer layers. Okay, so that you can call at various layers. They are the veil, the mind, the body. I am not this, I am not this, and um, the seventh layer. So who is that? Hmm, It's not an. It's not a matter of understanding through the senses. The one who's asking the question itself is the Atma. Hmm. You cannot see it through eyes, or you cannot hear it, or you cannot smell it, or taste it, or touch it. Okay. So that is how it is. So at one level they are all one. At another level, yet there is a slight distinction between one and the other.
Okay. The next question is, ideas come to my mind and vanish. I'm not able to remember them. Any advice on how to keep track of these ideas?
It's okay. Thousands of ideas come. You need one or two ideas to become successful, and you need not act on all ideas. You know that is what life is all about. If you keep on acting on all ideas, then in one day you get hundreds of ideas to implement all of that. It will take many, many years, isn't it? So be very spontaneous. What you want to act upon, what you remember, and just because just because it is an idea, it does not mean that it is a good idea, isn't it? So evaluate those ideas. Some of them, they just come and go. Some of them you don't even remember, and then from those that you remember, evaluate them. Ask people. Evaluate it through your intellect, through everything. And then if you think that the idea is worth acting upon, then you can act upon. Otherwise, you need not act on every idea, no? Okay.
Okay. Maybe the next question is, I get spurts of energy. Sometimes I'm drawn, sometimes I'm drowned, and sometimes I'm ready to take on the work. But I have no control over it. How to manage this?
Yeah, this is what this is what life is. Life is a combination of all what you're experiencing. Sometimes you'll feel low energy, sometimes you'll feel high energy, sometimes you'll feel enthusiastic, sometimes you'll feel lethargic. Sometimes that high energy is very peaceful and calm. Sometimes it is full of exuberance and enthusiasm, isn't it? So there are different flavors of high energy, and there are different flavors of low energy, and all these put together is what life is. Okay, and then when we practice meditation regularly, we do our sadhana regularly, little bit we have a say over this movement of energy from high to low, low to high. A little bit variation is required also. Only when you are a little tired, you feel little low, then you can sleep. If you don't feel tired, then you will not sleep, and that will affect your health in a not so good way, isn't it? So all that is necessary also little bit, and all that is natural also. Okay, and the more we are able to meditate, the more we will be able to have it in our control. But that is also hmm, a limited control. It cannot be a full control. Okay, life has its own force, and life moves with that force. Okay, so we just be a witness to that. Practice our meditation and pranayama and kriya, and then move along with life.
Okay, Bhaiya, there's a question in the audience. It says, if all children of a family are in misery, what can be the reason behind this? Parents' karma or their own karma?
Yeah, there can be multiple reasons. No, it can be their own karma. It can be their parents' karma. It can be a combination. It can be through the ancestors. It can be through environment also. Sometimes little vastu dosha can also cause that. Okay, and little bit from our side also, we cannot say that every time everyone is sad in that house. Hmm. See, we tend to remember the negative more than the positive. It's not that people have not been happy. They have been happy, but that sadness or period of challenges is so overwhelming or overpowering on the memory that we don't tend to remember. We did a point in the happiness program. No? The memory clings to the negative. Suppose I give you 20 compliments. I tell you, you're the most amazing person on this planet, and you're very intelligent, and you're very caring and sharing. Like this, I give you 20 compliments. And at the end of the 20 compliments, I tell you, but I think your nose is slightly bent. After a couple of hours, you're going to remember the bent nose. Not even slightly, or I think, not all those things. My nose is bent. And if you don't see me for 20 years, after 20 years, whenever you see me and recognize me, the first thought you're going to have is, this is the person who told me my nose is bent. You will forget that I have given you 20 compliments. And it is not possible. You cannot be sad all the time. See, when we have different sweets, one after another, say laddu, then followed by gulab jamun, peda, some pastry. So by the time you come to pastry, you don't get the taste of sweet. Then you need something salty, sour, bitter, or move away from sweet taste for some time to get the taste of sweet back. So in the same way, if there was only sadness, sadness, sadness all the time in your life, you will lose the taste of sadness. You have been happy sometimes, and that is why you are able to recognize sadness. Otherwise, you would not be able to recognize sadness. That is how life is. You cannot say that every single person all the time is unhappy in the family. It is not possible. And spirituality is looking at all these things, recognizing that there is very little sadness, if at all, in life. Actually, there is no sadness, but if at all you feel it is there, it is very minute. It is not worth spending your time and being bogged down by it. Okay, so just enjoy, be happy, practice your Kriya meditation. Come and do an advanced course. Next week, I am teaching an advanced course. Come and do that. Advanced course itself will also help you overcome this feeling that I'm always sad, or all my family members are sad and all the children are sad. It's not possible.